Welcome to Aussie Wristwatch, and I am so excited. Very. I'm like, words can't describe how excited I am. Because I'm going to talk to you about the newest watch in my collection and the story behind how it got into my collection, because, well, it's pretty fun. I don't know about you guys, but have you ever been online, be it Instagram, Facebook, just, an email and a website, and you've seen a competition or a lottery for luxury watches? A mate of mine, and I am not doing a wrist check because I'm going to put on the watch that I'm going to talk about, but a mate of mine put me onto this competition called Luxury Watch Supply. They're on Instagram. They're based in the UK, and they predominantly, but not solely, give away Rolexes. And my mate said to me, shout out to Jackson, that's my mate, hey mate. He said to me, well, if I buy this many tickets a year and then eventually maybe win a watch, I'm still ahead. And he's kind of right. So I, about a year ago, started on and off buying tickets. Now, I don't buy every competition. I have big breaks in between buying tickets, and then I might, have a flurry of, and I only ever buy one ticket per comp, by the way. So like one ticket for whatever watch. And occasionally they have a comp for like a grail watch, as some people may call them, but like a Patek or something that's worth £150,000 or whatever. So I definitely buy a ticket for that, but there's usually more tickets in that comp that they sell. The other month, I saw a comp that I almost did not buy a ticket for. It was for a Rolex Submariner, and there were 3 subbies up to win, which meant I had a 1 in 3 chance of winning. And it was limited to, I think, 1,250 tickets all up. Now, there was I'm going to get these wrong. I think it was a Starbucks, a bluesy, like a two-tone, and these are all with dates, sorry, and then like a black Rolex Submariner, so like kind of like the OG, but obviously with the date. For those of you who don't know me, for those of you who do, you guys know that I really love Rolex. I don't own one. And that's because by virtue of the fact that everyone else has an issue with getting a Rolex is you can't go into a store and buy one. I now have a Rolex. In fact, I now have pretty much, with the exception of having the date on it, the Rolex Submariner Black that I wanted and have been on a list for over a year. And all that for £40 for a ticket. So let's get into it, shall we? So that's right, I woke up a few weeks back. I trotted upstairs where I keep my phone, because there's no phones in the bedroom, that's the rule. And I go to my phone, I tap on it, and lo and behold, there's my mate Jackson with a text going, dude, or mate, you just won an effing sub. And I was like, what? And I'd totally forgotten about this draw. So I won a Rolex Submariner. I still can't believe it, and I've actually got it here in my hands. And it was funny because I won it, and then everyone, my wife included, my family was like, did you really win it? Is it really going to come in the mail? And we kind of giggled about that, because you never know, right? It did come in the mail. In fact, the boys at Luxury Watch Supply were, they emailed me straight away after the comp, because I was number 3 in a 3-name draw. I didn't get to pick out of the 3 watches, so I had to wait for the other 2 to pick theirs. I don't know who picked what from the others. If you guys ever watch this, let me know. And everyone was like, well, what are you going to get? And I'm like, I don't know, I get what's left. Either way, I'm a winner, and I'm getting a Rolex Submariner. Who cares? Who cares which one it is? And as it was the one I wanted. So yeah, let's have a look, shall we? Because I'm so excited. So yeah, the boys at Luxury Watch Supply, they emailed me straight away. They got my details. It got shipped from the UK to Australia. We had a slight delay in customs because of They wanted to charge me GST. I had to tell them that I won it, so then they had to revise it, so you pay your duties. So technically it cost me £40 for the ticket and $190 for the duties, for the import duty. But yeah, like I said, I'm still out in front. This is a roughly 14,000 Australian dollar watch, new, retail. Chrono 24, it's like 24 grand. So I'm still winning. So here it is. So excited. I have looked at it already. In fact, you'll be very pleased to know I sized my own bracelet. For those of you who know me, you're going to know that's a really big deal. For others who are new to this channel, you're going to be like, yeah, duh. Guys, it is a really big deal. Here it is. Oops. So it came with box. It's little certification tag. And then after an hour or so of staring at my watch, I then realized there's a little section in the box here, as you can see, and it came with its papers or its guarantee card, which is here. So it's the 126610LN model, purchased on the 23rd of December last year. It's got the serial number on there, so it's legit, guys, and it is absolutely spectacular. I mean, here we go. Now it's a little squeaky because I need to get some Loctite to put on those screws, but other than that, I think I did a really good job sizing it. It's very cold here today, so it's a little bit looser, but I know as soon as it warms up, it'll fit fine. I've even learned how to use the quick adjust clasp, which is genius, by the way. That really helped. I didn't have to take out an extra link because of that, and I know I'm going to need to move that back and forth quite frequently because I don't know about you guys, but when it's really hot here, I just swell. So let me just pop this over here and let's talk about this watch, shall we? Now, I'm probably preaching to the converted with this channel to some extent. Now, I've wanted this Rolex watch, notwithstanding I have the Omega Seamaster 300 in black ceramic, so they're very similar in look. Everyone's going to jump down my throat about that. I know they're a different watch, but in terms of look, really like two black dive watches. But they're so different at the same time, which I know now. I've been away overseas. I got back, the watch was here. I wanted to spend like yesterday kind of wearing it before I did this video. And honest to God, I'm super excited still because I still can't believe it. Like, I know everyone's like, I never win anything, and I say that. Like, I mean, I've probably won a meat tray in a raffle over the years. It's a really Australian thing, I think, so anyone else watching that's going to be like, what? So real quick aside, if you go to the local RSL, which is like the Return Services League clubs, or a pub on a Friday night, at least back when I was growing up, my parents, we'd all go, they'd have little raffles and you'd win like a meat tray, which is literally like a couple of chops, couple of steaks, half a kilo of snags, and you go home with the meat tray if you win. So I've won at least one of those in my life. And the only other thing I can really remember winning was tickets when I was about, I don't know, 8 or 10 to Disney's World on Ice. So winning a Rolex is way up there on like the unbelievable stage and the wow factor. So I still can't believe it. Even though it's now here, it's still a bit surreal. I like a bigger watch, but this fits perfectly, and I think too because it's all steel. They tend to sit differently, at least on my wrist, to, you know, wearing a rubber strap, or in fact this is one of the only, next to the Formula One Tag Heuer I have, that's all steel. And it really is a stunning piece. Like everything, the intricacy of the detail, the ceramic bezel, the click of the bezel. Oh, not only does it sound beautiful, it's so precise and subtle. But the way it just, yeah, I can't describe it. it's probably the best one I've got, to be honest with you. I did that yesterday and even my wife was like, ooh, that sounds good. I was like, yeah, well, it feels as good as it sounds. It's got Rolex imprinted inside the dial, along the edge of the bezel. It's pretty, which I've never noticed before, because usually when you go to a store, right, if you're lucky enough to try one of these on, they don't let you fucking touch them half the time because there's some precious, you know, precious item, and it's like, guys, I need to actually try it on to know if I like it. So you never kind of notice those details in the store, because to be honest with you, I'm too scared when I've got the bloody thing on and they're holding it there with their little gloves and they're like treating it like it's the Holy Grail or something. But yeah, it's gorgeous to look at up close and to sit with it for more than 2 seconds in the store and in different light. I know it's a fantastic solid watch, and it is an icon. And the reason it is an icon is because it's an intricate, well-made, robust timepiece done to perfection, and it's elegant in its simplicity. And we need to remember, at its heart, this is a tool watch. This is a robust dive watch. I can take this diving. In fact, it's probably one of the first dive watches I've got where I've gone, okay, maybe now I can see why people laugh at me when I say I'm not taking them in the water, because this watch I feel is going to last. I mean, all of them do. Maybe I'm a little bit more cavalier with this one because I want it. I don't know. The reality is I'm probably still not going to take this in the water, guys, so relax. Because I'm in love with this watch. Like, I'm really in love with this watch. I mean, I really cannot believe how much it's exceeded my expectations. And how excited I am. I still can't believe I won this watch. Seriously, it's pretty nuts. Thank you, universe. I'm actually really grateful. Yeah, I just thank you guys at Luxury Watch Supply. Thanks, Jackson, for putting me on to the comp. Fingers crossed for you, mate. I know you're desperate for the Batman. But yeah, I'm really happy. I'm really happy about this watch. I mean, it's so, I get it. I mean, I got it before, don't get me wrong. Here we go, look. How good is that? Slide back, slide in. Brilliant. I mean, I got why Rolex was hyped. I know some people think it's way too overhyped, and that could be somewhat true in the sense that I'm still not sold on buying one aftermarket. Like, I'm still not sold on spending $24,000 on that watch when it's retail $14,500. Like, I still don't know if I'm there. My wife insists that I probably should just buy a Pepsi on the grey market because, and let's face it, the reality is I'm probably never going to get one in a store at this rate. They just seem to be impossible, but I don't know. But anyway, like, so from that point of view with the hype, I get that. But I think in terms of the brand and the fierce loyalty that people have for that brand, I'm getting it. I'm totally getting it. Now, that's not to say I don't love my Panerais anymore. I do. I totally get people's passion and hype behind that brand as well. I still have multiple models on my list of that watch, including some of the more recent Radiomir models, which I'd never look at before, but now I'm just like, oh yeah. So yeah, I still love my Panerais guy and I still love my Omega, but I totally get the hype behind Rolex. And you know, you look down at your wrist, you see Rolex, you see the crown, you see the Oyster Perpetual date, I see that word Submariner, and I go, yes. It does, it brings me joy. This is why we wear these watches, right? Because they bring us joy. They spark something in us, to quote Marie Kondo, but they do, they spark joy, right? I mean, we've got phones. Nearly everyone has a phone, if not everyone, in some way, shape or form, right? Whether it's the fanciest iPhone to like a flip phone, most people have a phone. That tells the time. We could get an Apple Watch, which to me is still a phone on your wrist, but that's a separate issue. That tells the time. In fact, perfectly. That's not the point. The point is the elegance and the craftsmanship that goes into these little things here. The ingenuity, the research and the development, the innovation that goes into this tiny thing here. That's what sparks joy for us, right? It doesn't matter if it tells perfect time or if it's 20 seconds a day off or if it's 30 seconds a day. I mean, I own Panerais. Automatic watches, I'm not buying them for the perfection of the time telling. I'm buying them for the perfection of the design and the aesthetic and the look and the feel. That's what this watch does. That's what I get about why people are passionate about these watches. Like, fiercely passionate about these watches. Do you know how many people have told me off on that video? Oh my God, that video that I'm infamous for, I think is the best way to put it. Where I was having a whinge about walking into a Rolex dealer. That is my most viewed video. Predominantly because most of you actually agreed with my point of view. But I've had the occasional person tell me that I was mad for not being grateful that someone took the time to bother to show me models. Fuck that. I'm still paying for these watches if I ever get the opportunity. So you can take the time to show me the models that I actually want to buy. But it is so funny in that video how people are so passionate about this brand. Do you know how many people in that video told me I don't deserve or I'll never get a Rolex? We don't need to be that passionate and nasty, but yeah, I get why we're passionate about it, because they are a really fantastic watch. They're beautiful, absolutely stunning. You know what's even funnier? The Cyclops. Because again, in store, I look at it and I'm like, oh, that's kind of ugly. But in the flesh and actually wearing it on your wrist, as soon as you like turn it and look, and that date is so magnified and so clear, it works. And I know that thing is controversial because I've been on the other side of it going, yeah, I'm really not sure about that. But it works. You got to live with it, I think, to understand that it works. Whereas you don't get that in a store and you don't get that from looking at it online. You guys aren't going to get that from looking at this video and my, horrendous camera skills. But everything on my iPhone, guys. If anyone watches who happens to, I don't know, be Leica or Sony or someone and wants to give me a camera for better, please feel free. But yeah, the Cyclops is pretty cool actually, which I'm eating my words. One day I'm going to say I actually like the Milgauss or Milgauss or however you pronounce it, which at the moment I say is like the ugliest watch ever. To which my friends and my wife go, no, don't say that. Say it's not for you. Because that's true, it's not for me. There's actually a watch for everyone, and I know a lot of people love that watch. Cyclops kind of like that, where I was like, yeah. I mean, that's why I had my name down for the no date. I like watches without a date, and the honest reason for that is because I'm a little lazy, and if they're mechanical, automatic, whatever, and you need to wind it and set the date, it's just an extra thing you have to do. I know, I told you I was lazy. But now that I've got it and I've got the date, I'm kind of in love with it. Again, I'm so excited about this watch. It's fantastic. Yeah. Anyway, that's my little rant discussion, celebration about getting a Rolex. It's not a proper review. It's just me having a chit chat and, just you and I mutually basking in the glory of yet another Rolex lover. Fangirl, here I am. I'm so excited. I still, like I said, can't believe it. So for anyone out there who's like, I never win anything, I'm not saying enter every single competition you come across, but just every now and then, I think it just takes timing and a little bit of luck, like everything in life. I'm not going to say hard work for this because, well, it's a bit different to a job, obviously, but yeah, I just got lucky, and I fully appreciate that I got lucky, and I still can't believe it, and I'm super grateful. Until next time, guys, keep smiling, keep enjoying, like, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do, comment. Yeah. How about if you're watching this, tell me what you've won. If you've won the lotto, feel free to tell me. I know people who have won the lotto twice, by the way. So it does happen. It hasn't happened to me, just to be clear. But yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it? But yeah, tell me if you won something. What's the best thing you won? See you guys.